Hello and welcome. I am Stacey Thomas, author, ALS advocate, film producer, and talk show host. I'm here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Stacey Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am Stacey Thomas, on Instagram, Stacey Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hey, everybody. This is I am Stacey Thomas. Thank you for watching the Stacey Thomas Show. And we're adding another platform today. We are going to be on the business block for those of you who cannot catch the show, but you can catch it on Cool 101.2 Pop out of Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to Swag Her Magazine, Stacey's newest position as a media personality. Thank you for allowing me to share the show on your platform. The business block, Dre. I got you today. Welcome, Dre Parker.
What's up? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Glad
Great.
to be here.
Thank you for blessing my platform. You're doing the Stacey Thomas Show and the Business Block. The Stacey Thomas Show is to educate, motivate, and entertain. The Business Block is added because you are a businessman and you are doing things that people need to know. So I just want you to know that. So today we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Swag Her platform. And I think shout out to GC4.
GC4 Enterprise in the building. Let's go.
I think they're sharing it too. Dre, you're very interesting. You're very interesting. This interview is about your newest book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
However, you're somebody that people really need to follow because there's so much more to you. Money, legacy, and life coach.
Absolutely. Yes. The reason why I do that instead of using like professional names is because I want to connect with people, and what better way to talk to them more about their money.
Right.
Legacy is really how you live your lifestyle.
Right.
And let's incorporate life, because all of us have some type of connection, whether we got a lot of money or a little bit of money. So when people meet me, they know that I like to connect with them, not what they have, not the assets and all those other things, but let's connect on a human level.
Well, that's great. I'm not sure if it was you that came up with that all on your own. But you really did pick the words that were attention grabbers, right? So for those of us, well, Stacey's done her research, but for those of us that don't know much about you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Perfect. So I grew up to a single mom in the projects in a place called Middletown, Connecticut. Shout out to Middletown. So I'm the oldest of four. And obviously I grew up in the projects. We didn't really have any money, but we had a lot of love. Like you ever grew up in a poor family, is like, you don't really know you're poor until you get older. But we had a lot of love. But I did start working at the age of 13, where I was able to actually help my mom out around the house financially. And then ultimately, I got into entrepreneurship. So 22, I opened up my first brick and mortar clothing store. Stacey, we would do $3 to $5 grand a week, sometimes $5 grand a day. But what really sparked me to become a financial professional is because I was out of business in a few years because I mismanaged the money. I didn't know anything about business and financial acumen. And it gave me a lot of stress. Right. So now I'm able to, when I'm coaching people, I understand the financial stress that they go through. I understand their money program by growing up to either a single mom or growing up in the projects with a poverty mindset. So that's why I like to connect with people, because ultimately it's really about connecting with you so we can connect you back to yourself to give you back the power over your finances and your life.
Wow. So some of us don't learn a lesson when we try things. We keep making mistakes over and over. But in your case, it sounds like you saw what you could do. So even when that failed, you knew what to do better.
Right. So I love to talk to people about this. I didn't really start getting my life together until I was like 37, 38. I'm 52 now.
Okay.
So when people say, well, I keep failing at this, and I tell people, like, ultimately you have to pass the class so you can graduate your money challenges, right? You can graduate your relationship challenges. So at every point in somebody's life, there's this epiphany of like, you know what? I'm the common denominator. No one's coming to save me but me. Let me change my habits. Let me change my identity, right? And let me and figure out, when I say change my identity, let me stop acting like a poor person, or let me stop acting like a person who abuses money, or a person who doesn't care about their body, right? So 38, and when I tell that story to people, they get really inspired, like, wow, like if you got yourself together, started getting yourself together at 38, then there's hope for me. There's always hope for you guys.
Wow. So when you figured this out and you
Mhm.
knew what it is that Dre could do to build wealth and a legacy for himself, what inspired you to want to come out and say, because we have so many people with that crab in the bucket mentality.
Right,
You could
right,
have kept it to yourself.
right.
You've written this book and other books. What inspired you, made you want to share it with other people?
Because think about it, like, and the crab in the barrel is really a program that we have. But if someone had enlightened you and your family on money and legacy, you wouldn't have to go through the challenges. So that's why for me, it's personal, because every time I meet somebody, I look at them as an extension of me and the challenges that I went through. So when you realize that you're really not in competition with other people, right? You're in competition with yourself. And the goal, and I had this conversation last night at a networking event. I'm like, we were taught to compete. I
Right.
get it, right?
Right.
But when you look at nature in itself, nature actually collaborates more than it competes. And that's how we win the game of getting out of poverty, of having a better lifestyle. When we collaborate, we actually elevate. So with me, I'm like, no, I'm challenging people in their belief system, because it's really a belief system, Stacey, that keeps people stuck and feeling like, oh, well, I got to do this on my own. You don't got to do it on your own. As a matter of fact, it's conditioned in us as human beings. We're tribal people anyway.
Right.
So connect with the tribe, find your tribe, and let's start building wealth.
Love it. Love it. And I'm going to show the book, and we're going to do it in the middle of the page so that we don't take Dre off. The book that you wrote, let's see. I'm loving the cover. And here we go, Stacey. Would get a little nervous while I'm sitting here talking to the money making man.
Oh, no, wait, no, no. Don't get nervous.
But the man that's going to teach us how to make money.
Don't get
Okay,
nervous.
there we are. There we are. Infinite Legacy Blueprint. Who's your
Right.
publisher?
Oh, GC4 Enterprise. So let me tell you guys really quick about them. So I've known them for a very long time. I've self-published my first 3 books, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And very good. I could do it on my own. But remember, if I'm going to teach about wealth, I got to teach about the first 2 letters of wealth, and that's we, right? So
Right.
knowing that GC4 Enterprise, shout out to Rita, and they do this day in and day out. I do something totally different, right? So if I can combine my power with their power, and believe me, anybody who is looking to actually get into becoming an author, or who's already an established author like myself, I still recommend that you go with a publisher that's going to really go to bat for you, promote you, and really help you out, because that's how you can actually scale and grow. Just promoting and doing things on your own, you're not going to get too far. You know the saying, right? If you want to
Right.
go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, we go together.
Ooh, love it. And I love that you have something positive to say about your publisher, because there's so many times authors are out here and people want it so bad that they don't take the time to research the publishers. They
Mm-hmm.
end up with publishers. Oh, that's a whole nother subject for a talk show.
Right.
But congratulations on that. In your book, you talk about breaking barriers. Can you share with us some of the common financial, and I love it because you said something about the mindset.
Right.
Share with us what you see that most clients deal with, or people that need your services.
Right. So, Stacey, the reason really why I wrote this book is because generational wealth is such a buzzword, right? But when you do the research, you find out even high net worth families, after the second and third generation, the money's gone. So it sparked me to try to find out, like, well, what's going on? If they're passing down the money and they're high net worth families, and they can't do it, how can somebody from middle America do it, right? Or somebody from the projects do it? So I wrote this book, and I give you instructions with 5 simple components, and that's the generational wealth mindset, creating your family mission and vision statement and your statement of identity for your family, building and buying assets, creating a proper infrastructure to protect those assets. And then the last step is the generational wealth hub. But it starts with the generational wealth mindset. These are key wealth principles or key legacy principles, right? First, you have to be self-aware, right? So the generational wealth mindset is self-awareness. You can't change anything that you're not aware of. And most people just aren't aware of their finances or really what they can do to build wealth. Because a lot of people in our community, they were taught to go make the money, but income doesn't equal wealth. And I see that all the time. I work with a lot of 6-figure entrepreneurs and career-driven people, but they don't take the income and put it into building wealth. So you have a selfless attitude. That's the second thing. Generational wealth is not about your lifetime. I want you to think about it. If you're thinking about generational wealth, you mean that you're meant to make that money last for generations. So it has to be bigger than your lifetime. So the problem or the challenge that we have is we're in survival mode. So being in survival mode is not going to help you thrive and think about, okay, how can I leave millions to the next generation? You're going to think about, how can I pay my bills today? So that's why it's so cliche to say, yeah, generational wealth mindset. No, so you got to have a selfless attitude, right? But you also have to have an adaptability part of yourself, because Stacey, you know as well as I know, there's a lot of things that's coming in to threaten your wealth, like taxes or illnesses, loss of income. There's so many challenges that we go through our lifetime. So we're like, okay, well, how do we adapt when these bad things, I say bad things because who knows what's good or bad, because whatever you're going through is really for to actually develop you to becoming the person that you need to be to build generational wealth. So the biggest challenge I know that people have is the generational wealth mindset, because they're thinking about themselves as opposed to, you know, their family in the future. Think about it like this. What if your great grandmother and grandfather thought about 100+ year legacy? You wouldn't have to pay for student loans, right? If you wanted to go start a business, you could borrow it from the family bank or the family trust, right? Now that's how we keep money in the family, by creating these infrastructures and knowing that it's bigger than me. So that's the reason why I needed to put this book out, because I got tired of hearing people talk about generational wealth and they were just thinking about generational self.
Right. And I think sometimes when people think about generational wealth, I think maybe in the Black community, you may, and if you disagree with me, you let me know. Mm-hmm. It's hard when you don't see the people before you have it. When you don't have cousins that you see have it, you know, that affects the mental too, I would think, you know, because then you start to think, well, I don't see anybody that can do that. So what makes me think I can do it? Or you have the naysayers saying to you that haven't done it. That's the problem. That's the problem. Affecting your mind because they've never done it, don't know anybody to do it. You don't seek information to learn how to do it.
Right. And I can understand that. That's why a lot of times your environment, you have to get out of that environment, right? A lot of times you got to leave your environment to become groomed and shaped to the person you need to be, so you can go back to the environment, because, you know, a prophet is not honored in their own home. So you're right. That's a big challenge for us, because, you know, for us, a lot of times seeing is believing. And I say, if seeing is believing, it doesn't really make you much of a believer. And that's the problem. That's why, as a community, that's why I teach a whole lot of free financial literacy, but everything starts with the mindset. And I know it sounds cliche, but I promise you, like in the book, I'm giving you examples of, you know, how, you know, what you should think about, how you should think, what level of thinking, where it should come from, like who are you being in the world, right? Because in this book, it's not just about building and buying assets. It's really about really fundamentally the principles of generational wealth. And honestly, that's the reason why the wealth doesn't last, because in our mind, we're thinking of financial wealth. Let me pass this $1 million down. It is not about that. It's about preparing the family for the wealth. So in the book, I talk about having family meetings, like generational wealth starts with having family meetings, and it starts with us as the parents. And when I teach, like in the 5th component about the generational wealth hub, there's 4 components in that hub, and it's the parents, right? It's the principles, it's your possessions, and it's the purpose of the generational wealth hub. Because once us as the parents leave this hub, what are we leaving behind? We have to leave behind the principles that we should have established while we were alive, having our family meetings, right? And then, of course, the possessions, we got to teach. The possessions are very tricky, Stacey, because possessions a lot of times possess us as opposed to us possessing the possessions, and possessions will come and go. So we have to learn that the foundation of generational wealth will always ride on principles, right? It has to be a deeper meaning for the money. So a lot of times, like when I'm coaching people, I'm like, okay, well, why do you want $1 million? And a lot of times they'll say, well, because I want to be able to do anything that I want to do or anything I can. I don't want to. So I break it down really simple. Like if you take what people really want, it has nothing to do with the money, right? Like they say, I want to be able to do anything I want. Well, that means that they're doing less meaningful work throughout their day, right? You're working for money, and the work that you do doesn't have any meaning, right? So of course you want a lot of money so you can stop doing what you're doing and do something different that's more meaningful to your life. So it's deeper than the money all the time. And to get people to get that aha moment, it's like, oh, wow. So it's really not about the money. Like sometimes people say, I just want to, I want to have a fun life. On the weekends, I see people on social media, they're traveling, they're doing this and this and that. So I say, well, let's start incorporating what you truly desire before you get the money.
Right.
Think about it. You just lack some fun in your life. Let's go have some fun. Let's learn how to have fun without the money, right? Be the person that you need to be so you can attract all those other things. I'm telling you, people all the time, they get the money and then all of a sudden they're like, this is what I thought I wanted. No, the money has no value of its own. You're always exchanging it for something more valuable. And that's why this book is very important for everybody to get so they can understand. And believe me, it's a framework in there. So it's not just like a whole bunch of like I literally have action steps in the book so people can be like, okay.
Love that. Okay. Yeah. So money, legacy, and life coach, right? So you're talking about the money, and I've heard you mention legacy. And we see that you're coaching. Legacy. Is legacy just about wealth as far as money? What falls under legacy?
I love that. Legacy is really, a lot of times people think legacy is when I die. No, legacy is how you live, right? Legacy matters because it matters on how you treat your wife or your husband or your significant other. That's legacy too. Legacy is always like, am I taking care of my body, right? Am I being the best mother or father I can be? Am I being present with my friends and my family in my life? That is legacy. People think that money is the only part of legacy. It's not. It's how you live your life. It's the life that you live. So when you leave this life behind, they can say, hey, that woman or that man had a great legacy. He cared for people or she cared for people, right? Because there's people who have a whole lot of money, right? And they pass on, they leave all this money to do different foundations, but they never made an impact. So the impact is the humanness, the connection that we have, how we treat one another. Like to me, like with all this stuff going on in the world today, and we won't get into politics and stuff like that, but there has to be a defined thing called, okay, treating people well or, treating people good. Because some people think that treating people good is like, for me, like treating people good means all human beings, right? Period. Now, in the Black community, right, we have, when you look at the statistics, I work really good in that community so I can change the dynamics, because we have generational trauma when it comes to money, when it comes to, feeling safe and a whole lot of other things. So I work in the underserved community because of the fact that, well, of course, I'm also Black, but also like if there was somebody in the underserved community, they need the most help. Right? When you look at the stats, I'm talking about the data. I'm talking about like when you see like, okay, 10% of Black families leave inheritance. 29% of white families do, right?
Mhm.
When you also look at like the average savings of a Black or Hispanic family is around $2,000, where the average white family is 12,000, right? So we need to see how we can create more equitable solutions for all people, right? And we
Right.
start with the people who are being underserved.
I am loving this interview and the information and the
I know, you know, we could do
coaching.
this all day, right?
Don't be careful. Stacey will have you back on, and we will.
Yeah.
Havilah Malone, legacy is how you live. Havilah, thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if you're still in the UK, but I do hope your poetry project is doing well or did well. And thank you for taking the time to watch the show today. Dre, all this is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dre's giving us information. He's providing us with information to make life better, right? Dre, two things. I'm 54 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too late? Second thing, 2025, we're in a mess out here now in this world.
Yeah.
I'm no longer just worried about my age, but will I have a job in the next 6 months? Is it too late for me to read your book and to learn something to help my life better?
It's absolutely not too late. And let me tell you why. For one, it's not just about reading the book and doing things on your own. Like when I say the Money and Legacy team, we're all for the community. We offer an hour free consultation to go over where you're at, right? It's
Right.
never too late, right? And what I mean by that, now people might say, well, can you have more wealth if you start early and start investing early? Absolutely, because of compound interest. And the wealth formula is money plus time plus your rate of return. That's going to equal wealth over a period of time. But here's the thing, I have some people who are older than you and they're still legacy creators, right? So we focus on, okay, what could we do right now?
Right.
Because I have to eliminate the too late, too old, too broken, too scared. I have to get rid of all of that first. That's why I like to connect with people on a human level. So if you got $1 in your pocket, I'm going to congratulate you. Because can I be honest with you, Stacey? Most people feel like they never have enough. Even people, clients that I have that have millions of dollars, they feel like they never have enough. And only from enough comes abundance. So a scarcity mindset is I don't have enough. Like think about it. I didn't get enough sleep. I don't have enough to eat. I don't have enough. When the universe, God has created a universe of abundance, right?
Right.
So we just have to learn how to be resourceful. It's never too late. So there's a lot of things like a lot of times I tell people like, hey, wherever you're at and you have children, let's start with them. Let's start educating them. But ultimately, whether God give you 10, 20, 30 more years, and if you're in your 50s, let's see how we can live out going forward our best versions of ourselves, to live a great life and be financial stewards over our money. And know that, like, honestly, you can still live a great lifestyle making 70, 75,000 a year. Because I'm telling you, it's mindset. There's people with millions of dollars and feel like they don't have enough. They still have a scarcity mindset and they still have fear over money. No matter how much money you have, if your mind isn't free, you'll never be free when it comes to money.
I have a fear of spending money, Dre.
All right, so we got to get rid of that fear. So I call that happy money, right?
No. Dre, I have a fear. That's another subject. And I guess this is why. Okay, so I get your book,
Yeah,
or someone on watching, we get your book, right?
right.
And we get it. We get what you're saying, but some of us need, like you mentioned, human contact.
Yeah,
So is that where your coaching comes in? It's
yeah,
okay to get the book, but we can still contact Dre for his services.
yeah. I want people to go to workwithdreparker.com and book a 15-minute consultation. So the life coaching came about because I realized that people really don't have a money problem. They have a mind problem, right? And I know that because I came from that same era of like realizing like, oh, my mind put me where I'm at right now. Okay.
See, I thought, and Lord, and I maybe I shouldn't say scared. Well, maybe that is the word. In my mind, it's like So I get money, right? I'm not stingy or anything like that, and I like to bless others. But in my mind, it's like, Stacey, if you spend this right now, you know you really want to do this later. So is that just being smart and saving, or is that just being afraid to do what it is now, Stacey, and just trust that that'll work out later?
No,
Am I
it's about
having mental
organizing your money.
mindset problems?
Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of people like that. So I tell them straight up, let's organize your money. Let's give your money a job. So if you don't give your money a job, somebody else is going to employ it and have it working for them. So all we got to do is create different buckets for what you want to do with the money. This
Okay.
job for this money is to go do this. This job is for charity. This job is for emergencies. This job is for my shoes that I like to have. You follow what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
the problem that people have is they have one account, right? And everything, one income comes in that account and a whole lot of expenses and debt goes out of that account. So it's really hard to manage and control that. So this is why, like, I tell people to meet with somebody from my team, because we'll do like the financial independence tracker and we'll find out who you're making rich with your money. Because everybody's making somebody rich with their money, and might as well be you.
Okay, I'm loving it. Kim, Havala's back. She says our UK filming went really great. I'm back in LA and truly enjoying this interview. Ordering Dre Parker's book, Infinity Legacy Blueprint. Thank you,
Thank you. Make sure
beautiful.
you reach out. Make sure
Thank
you reach out.
you. Thank you. And we have, let's see, make sure we have the correct, well, that's Rita's website for the publishing company. At
Mhm.
the bottom, we have Dre's website for
Yeah, they
everything
can get it from my website, my publisher, and again, I like anybody who's an author and they're self-published. I just highly recommend you working with a team of people,
Okay.
and GC4 Enterprise is a great team.
Okay.
So, yep.
So as we wrap this up, what's the one thing as far as changing your mindset that you would like to say to people that they want to take Dre's advice, they
Right.
want to create a plan? Where should they start?
Okay. So the first thing I would tell people to do is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, right? Because we've all made financial mistakes in our lifetime. Have some empathy for yourself. The more that you wrestle and beat yourself up, feeling guilt and shame, the more you stay stuck in low vibrations. So, first of all, forgive yourself, and then saying, you know what? I forgive myself for all the mistakes that I made. I'm going to start working on me, like being self-aware. Like that's what I tell people, being self-aware, and like, okay, and taking notes and journaling, saying, hey, am I being a person that's still afraid of money? Right. So when people meet and connect with me, it's like, let's build a relationship. You should have a relationship with your financial professional. And the hardest part, Stacey, is getting people to understand that they are worthy of whatever they desire. Like so many times people come to me and say, I thought I couldn't afford you. I thought I didn't have enough money. I said, the perfect time to build your plan is when you might feel like you don't have any money. So even like I've worked with people who weren't ready, literally weren't ready. And I said, this is what you need. At least after meeting with me or my team, at least you'll know what steps you need to take to get ready. And believe me, some people, it might pass them by, but then you get texts 6 months later and saying, hey, I'm at $2,500. I'm ready to invest, or I'm at such and such. I'm ready to get this life insurance, or I'm ready to get this will and trust. Like, so it's a progression. Stop trying to do everything at one time. Your money and legacy journey is a progression, and it never ends because your family never ends. People get married, people get divorced, people are born, people die. So, yeah.
I love it. And I'm going to tell you, look, they tell me I get dramatic. I don't mean to. I love it, Dre. But you said something that really, really makes me feel good. There are some people you can't go to unless you're ready. There are real estate agents you can't go to unless you're ready and you have the down payment.
Of course.
I think nothing's better than you saying, you will tell me how to get ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
I want you to think about it, because if you're really here for impact and you really want to change people's lives, you'll spend 20 minutes of your time. Some people will, right? Because I don't worry about money like that, because I have a contract, right? You have a contract with God. If God is my supply, I cannot be denied, right?
Right.
So the impact, a lot of times people say, yeah, I just want to help people, but yet they're afraid to tell people about their business, right? Or they're afraid to put a post on social media. My marketing coach told me that. Shout out to Marquel Russell. Like he'll like, yo, if you really want to impact people, stop thinking, like, stop being selfish. Get out there. They'd be like, well, I'm just not ready. Like, I'm not ready to put my book out. I'm not ready to make my Facebook post. It's bigger than you. This is why generational wealth will stay a buzzword until you stop thinking about yourself and start putting yourself out there to impact others. So I'll take 20 minutes and I teach my team the same thing. Like, like if you're hard pressed to like make a sale every time you meet with somebody, then that means that you need to work on your financial DNA. You're in a scarcity mindset.
Right. So you're having a book signing tomorrow.
Yes. Book signing is at Condessa Coffee. One of my good friends, Anthony, he owns the shop, and he was like, man, brother, let's have it over here. So make sure you come out to Condessa Coffee in Atlanta. I will be there personally signing books. My publisher will be there as well. I'm telling you, I got a great support system. My family will be there as well, because remember, generational wealth is not about you. So my family supports this. We have family meetings. I want to, and part of our legacy is to teach other people how to become legacy creators, right?
Wow. So I know we have your website strolling at the bottom of the screen, but tell us, how do we follow you? How do we connect with you?
All right, Money Legacy Life on Instagram and on Facebook. Of course, if you go to Work with Dre Parker and click on the Money and Legacy tab, I have free financial literacy for everybody. And I did those videos for one reason, because I don't want to waste time. I'd rather waste time connecting with people instead of teaching them. Like, you can look at those videos in your free time, and that lets me know when you're ready, you're ready. Let's just be honest. When people are ready to change, they'll take the right action. Sometimes it's too much pain that causes people to remain the same. So then they're ready to change. So I don't force people hey, you need to invest, or you need to get life insurance, or you need to get a will and trust. I just educate people. But the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will come.
That's right. Oh, I love it. I love it. And that's right, because you can't force people. You can say, I got this, I got that, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. Do you want to do better? Do you want to create a legacy? And I love how you described legacy and talked about money today and your coaching. And I see that your publisher has put up that your books are found at Walmart.com,
yes,
Barnes and Noble, Google Play, and is it Kobo?
You have to ask her, but yeah.
Kobo.
You see what I'm saying? Like she's in that space. She connected me.
It's
all I have to do is show up and do interviews with beautiful people like you.
Thank you.
And teach and educate people on what I know.
Well, it's been a great interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita, for telling Dre about Stacey. And I do wish you the best. If I was in Atlanta, I could attend. I've got to start making some trips. But for those of you that are in Atlanta, this is the book, you guys. You can stop by, purchase a book, and get one signed, correct?
Yes, absolutely. You can get it signed if you go to the book signing, or if you want to get it from my site, I'll put a special note of inspiration and encouragement to you and mail it to you.
Okay. Until next time, you take care of yourself, and thank you again for blessing the show.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was Dre Parker. You'll see his website at the bottom of the page. And I want to bring the book up again for those of you that may say, Stacey, you showed it and it didn't stay on the screen long. So there is the book. There's the book. I also have in the comments how you can get the book. And if you're in Atlanta, check out the book signing. Go support him. Go to his website. And once again, thank you for watching. Shout out to Swag Her. And if you Google Swag Her, please don't put a space between the swag and the her. It's Swag Her, one word. Swag Her, right? And for those of you who are looking for advertisement, go to Swag Her. She has Fancy, the CEO and her company has a bundle for you. $130 will get you a live interview on Swag Hers platform and in the magazine. Check that out. So until next time, remember, I like to always say, don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow, because if we do, we just might miss living today. Have a great one, everybody.